So for me, the mini budget was all about meeting the minimum expectations of what the minister announced in the June supplementary budget. And if you measure it against that, it fell far short, unfortunately. So it followed in the pattern of the last few mini budgets where it was disappointing. Markets didn't like it at all. And this one specifically because after the COVID crisis, and as we chatted before, the significant impact on the economy and thus the even more severe impact on the fiscal situation, the debt ratio, etc. So in June, the minister said they've got two scenarios: the passive scenario, where they don't do anything in terms of trying to get the budget under control, and there's no policy reform to get better economic growth, versus the active scenario, where they actually go out fully and cutting spending, getting the budget under control, and going for severe, significant policy reform to get to a higher economic growth path. He then said, Cabinet decided to go for the active scenario. Markets will like that. I like that. I said, good. Came through to the mini budget on Wednesday, and they abandoned effectively the active scenario. So the debt ratio revised higher, the planned expenditure cuts revised away. Yes, they're still cutting wage bill expenditure, but there's risk around that. They still need to get negotiations going with the unions. They need to convince the unions salary freeze for the next 3 years. That's going to be difficult. So the mini budget disappointed significantly, especially now that you need to tighten up and go for gold. And they didn't do that. Hugely disappointing.